Hello everyone. So welcome to this information seminar. So this is the seminar for Doctor of Psychology in Counseling Psychology. So here is about inspiration. So be inspired and empowered to expand your intellectual research and clinical practice. So I hope by attending this seminar, you have an idea. Basically, to take a PsyD in counseling psychology actually is life-changing. It's transformative. So and has a lot of inspiration. I first introduce myself. I am Raysen, Dr. Raysen CHEUNG. Currently, I'm serving as the director of the PsyD program in counseling psychology in this university. And I've been in counseling education in Hong Kong for, I think, for quite a long time. And I've been involved in the university in counseling for over 30 years. Maybe like some of you, I start as a practitioner. I've been a counselor in a university for 13 years, and then go on to study, and then involved in counseling education. And also, I have spent around 5 years as the director of the master program in counseling psychology, and then took over this PsyD in counseling psychology for 2 years now. And throughout this time, I've seen students joining the program, and a lot of initiative, a lot of inspiration, a lot of hard work, and I see how they go through the struggle. And finally, we have some students who succeed to got the degree. So it's a journey, and I'm happy to support if you really commit to this journey. So, so here we go, the program. So if we I will introduce about the program. I will go into some of the program structure to let you have an idea, and then the requirement, etc. So you have some idea what the program is like. And when you choose to commit into this program, and what will it be like, and what are the challenges, and what are the opportunities. And then review a bit about the faculty and graduates. You may be interested to know about what is the graduate destination for our graduates. And possibly I cannot detailedly introduce our teaching faculty, but I'll briefly highlight, and then I will provide some pointer for you if you need further information. Then we will have a Q&A, and we will advise you, if you're interested, how to go through the application procedure, who to contact. So this we will address. And there is a Q&A time. So I understand that there is people attending both in person and online. So those online are also welcome to post information. And those who attend in person, of course, you may raise your questions in person. So here we go. About the program, what's so special about it? It is the first and only program in Hong Kong to train counseling psychology, and then for over 10 years. So a bit history. So if you know, in Hong Kong, in the Hong Kong Psychological Society, there are different divisions like clinical psychology, education psychology, and counseling psychology is relatively new. It was formed the division was formed in 2006. And then the first master program by our university is launched in 2010. So then we produced master students, about over 20 students each year since then. In 2015, we launched the doctorate program, the Doctor in Counseling Psychology. So in Hong Kong, up till now, we are the only university committed to this training. Currently, I learned some other university begin to show interest, but I think we have quite a pioneer role in developing this training for counseling psychologists in Hong Kong. And as far as we know, we are still the first and the only Doctor of Counseling Psychology Doctor of Psychology in Counseling Psychology in Asia. How do we understand that? There may be some Doctor of Philosophy, PhD program, or Applied Psychology program have a specialization or elective in counseling. But up till now, to the best of our knowledge, we are the only one in Asia which qualified counseling psychology at the doctoral level through a program of Doctor of Psychology in Counseling Psychology. This is quite special about it. And then how do we do it? We mainly benchmark on the West. So we take reference from, say, the British Psychological Association and the American Psychological Association as we plan this course. And so that there is both academic and professional requirement. So you are required to do clinical practice, unlike just a research course. And also the research requirement, you have to do a thesis, both. And then how to do it, we take reference, as we start in 2015, we have take reference from the mainly the overseas counseling psychology profession. So, and about the recognition, the program is recognized by Hong Kong Psychological Society and its division in the counseling psychology. If you complete our program and then you are not yet a counseling psychologist of Hong Kong CHEUNG, and then if you with our program and then you fulfill some other of their requirement, you may become a counseling psychologist. Of course, some of the applicants prior to their admission to this program, they have already become counseling psychologists. They are master graduates. So anyhow, by taking this program, it's also a professional route and also an academic route. So why we think that it is necessary or to launch this program and continue in the Hong Kong context and also in the Asian context to service both Hong Kong and the nearby region. Because we see that as counseling and counseling psychology is developing in the field, there is a need of research dedicated in counseling and counseling psychology. And there is also a lack of senior clinical supervisor trained at the doctoral level. And in the higher education setting, we also need more teachers who can do clinical teaching in counseling psychology. So in view of this, we hope we will train our graduates to become leaders in this profession. Not only become better practitioners, but those who can train the next generation, and also who can become good, competent and clinical supervisor at advanced level. So this is what we are aiming at. So later on, as I go through in our training curriculum, so we will equip you, if you join this program, with many different areas. Research, so like other doctoral degree, we have a research requirement, and then we have an oral defense up to the doctoral level of thesis, and then we have also clinical practice. So if you are not yet a counseling psychologist as recognized by Hong Kong CHEUNG, you fit the clinical requirement of Hong Kong DCOP of Hong Kong CHEUNG. And then we'll also have some advanced assessment course. We will train you to do advanced assessment in terms of a psychological assessment and also counseling assessment. So in different areas. What are the unique features? So I will briefly highlight. So it's theory driven. So there are chances for you to deepen into psychotherapy and assessment practice. So as I've mentioned, so we'll go into the psychological assessment and the counseling assessment. And also you can deepen your psychotherapy. So there are some courses you can study more in depth, at least 2 modules, more theoretical orientations in psychotherapy, in knowledge, and then you may apply in the clinical practice. And in the what is clinical informed research? It is in the sense that it is not a PhD psychology research and anything topic related to psychology, but you will choose a topic related to practice, related to counseling and psychotherapy. So previously, some of our graduates have chosen topic like focus on acceptance commitment therapy, and some and just a graduate have worked on a study on psychodynamic counseling. So we more focus on intervention research. So related to intervention and psychotherapy. And then there is the multicultural part. The medium of instruction is English. So we have admitted and graduated students who are English speaking, and all the way in the academic course and also in the clinical practice conducted in English. And in our practice sites, we can select sites which use Chinese, 普通话, Cantonese, or English. So there are different sites in Hong Kong, and then we make accommodation from that. Of course, we would like to develop more indigenized practice, because your practice, your supervision is from the local client, and when you do your assignment, you do your paper, you reflect on this experience. When you go to the clinical seminars, we have a clinical seminar which is called multicultural counseling, and you have to bring cases from your clinical practice to discuss in this seminar. So we hope through the research and practice you developed indigenous theories and practice. Train the trainer, the skill and ethical keeper. Our graduates, our students are trained as both practitioner and clinical supervisors. So when they work as supervisor, they have to enforce the counseling ethics. And I remember when it was COVID, then when our student is placed in a counseling center, and then the student actually work with the site to work out the precise ethical guidelines for online counseling during the COVID. So this is one example that we put an emphasis on the ethics. There is no a specific course dedicated especially for ethics, but it's all through in different courses and in the clinical supervision. Small teacher and student the ratio. So each cohort maximum we admit part-time student, only part-time student of 6 students. So but we stick to our requirement and admission criteria. So sometimes we do not take up to the full quota of 6. Sometimes last cohort it was 4, and the earlier cohort was 5. So, but anyhow, it's a small size, and then from the students' feedback, they would enjoy very much the small class interaction. So in the academic courses, it's organized in like a discussion sessions facilitating intellectual discussions. So students go on through the required reading and then discuss in the class. Of course, in the clinical practice and in the research supervision, it will be one-to-one, so the size would be even smaller. So we also aim at a more diversified student profile. So although it is still part-time, we may consider full-time mode in future, but at present is still part-time. But still, in part-time, we have recruited some local students, but they have moved to Hong Kong from overseas area to work or to live. So we have English-speaking people, and then we have students from Macau, and we have also students originate from Taiwan and then go to America, and then back work to Hong Kong, and then finally stay in Hong Kong. And so language is English, so the student profile is very much diversified. So for instance, this year, the new cohort in 2025 has a student actually completed her master in counseling psychology in the United States, and then she also bring back her experience. She's qualified to practice in United States. Actually, she bring back her experience. So it's a small class, although it's part time. Still, we have a different mix of students, and we'll try to do that. And we accommodate people who don't speak Cantonese. There's one student who can only speak Mandarin and English. So of course, they are English-speaking only students, and there are Cantonese-speaking students as well. We have two streams of a 3-year part-time study. Why is it so? Because we currently aim at two types of potential applicants. One is our own graduates who have achieved a master's degree in counseling psychology and who is already qualified to become registered counseling psychologists in Hong Kong. And then they got the professional qualification. They would like to top up to get a doctorate degree. So then we admit them. But they have fewer courses, modules to take, so they take 60 credits. And those without a master's degree in counseling psychology. So who are they? This group of people, they first of all, they have to satisfy the requirement of Hong Kong CHEUNG. In that, they have an undergraduate degree or a conversion degree in psychology. And then they have a master in counseling. So some years ago, we started to open an avenue for these practitioners, because we see quite a number of them in Hong Kong. And also, these are the two types of admission population we aim at. So as you can see, those from our own Master of Counseling Psychology take 60 credits, and those without counseling psychology but with counseling and psychology background take 75 credits. So I will elaborate these more in detail. So what are the courses we will cover? So we adopted a scientist practitioner mode. So this mode actually is benchmarked from the West. So the counseling psychology and clinical psychology program adopt this model, in the sense that students are required to become both scientists and practitioner. So in terms of practice, you do the clinical supervision. And in terms of science, you do the research. So this is what we aim at, who can both excel in both practice and research. So we divided the courses into three dimensions. One is the knowledge, one is the practice, one is the research. So I will just briefly highlight. For the knowledge, we'll go through the what is the profession of counseling psychology. So what is scientist practitioner, and what is the this is the identity. What's the identity of the counseling psychology profession? And there are some other interesting new issues. For instance, use of AI. We are discussing use of AI in counseling or use of AI in counseling psychology. How to adapt Western psychotherapy from the West into the local culture. So these are some of the topics we go through in the conceptual issue course. There are advanced skills in the assessment and evaluation. So we take some tests at the professional tests to learn, like personality tests, and also some of the intellectual tests, and also counseling tests. So that is not covered at the master level. So to enhance the practice. And I think we are quite unique to have a course dedicated to the theories of clinical supervision. So that is a knowledge requirement before our students go into practice. So this is the knowledge course. And the practice course, we have an advanced study in psychotherapy practice in which students will reflect on an experience and explore two modes of psychotherapy practice. So to prepare for them for the clinical practice. And another course is called multicultural psychotherapy. This course I've mentioned, as the student is doing clinical practice, they have to bring cases back to this seminar for discussion. And there's also the specific practice seminar. So a student will choose two specific population or setting to discuss and to bring their cases for discussion in the seminar. So previously we have selected settings like the work setting and education setting, and also some population like the emerging adults, midlife, adolescents, etc. So then we have clinical practice 1 to 3. We also have a research dimension. For the research dimension, we will learn both quantitative and qualitative research in the advanced skills in research methods. But then when you do the research, you can choose either clinical, either quantitative or qualitative, or both. But you learn it in advanced skills in both approaches. Then we have the research mentoring, which is quite special. You will be assigned to a professor who is doing doing a research project. You will sort of like an apprentice. You will work with the professor, and some student would generate publication with the assistant work. And then the clinical-based research thesis 1 to 3 is the different stages help you to complete the research thesis in terms of doing the proposal and then the data collection, and then you go through this, and then you will complete the clinical practice, the research thesis. Put it another way, so I've introduced all the course by dimension. So this is how we suggest how to progress in it. So for the year 1, you will study all the knowledge course, more on knowledge. So all and for those who is from the Master of Counseling, additionally, will study assessment evaluation in counseling psychology. So this is a course from the master program. You have to study one more these courses in the master program. Year two is very busy because you start to do the clinical practice and the research as well. So year two is very demanding, and you'll be very busy. And the year three, you will complete the thesis and also the clinical practice. So this is the suggested progression of 3 years. In practice, some students really can finish it in 3 years, but some in 4 years and maximum 5 years. So there are some accommodation for adjustment. In terms of the clinical practice, so there consists of different elements. One is the supervised clinical work. So you do counseling and psychotherapy and receive supervision. B is the supervised clinical supervision work. So this is special about this program. You become a supervisor to supervise junior counselor, and then will receive supervision of supervision. Okay, so and there will be regular clinical supervision from university clinical supervisors. And then there will also some duties assigned by your sites. So you expect about a minimum of 2 full days each week when you're doing a semester of clinical practice. Okay, so the time is quite demanding. And there is also a non-credit bearing teaching training module. So in addition to the curriculum, as we try to help you to become teachers in higher education, so we develop non-credit bearing a module that you go through in your study. So we aim to develop teachers in counseling psychology in higher education. So it's non-credit bearing, but also a requirement to complete before graduation. So basically, you will be required to attend or select some training modules for teaching. It's for junior teachers in the university. And then you will select some, and then you have to attend. There are some departmental training workshops, like how to teach counseling skill in a class, or how to prepare case studies in counseling. So also you will receive teaching workshops like this. And then you will become guest speakers in selected classes, and then record your development to develop your teaching portfolio. So in brief, throughout the 3 years, you will attend some workshops and you become guest speakers in some counseling classes, and then you document all this experience into a portfolio. As it's also a requirement for graduation. Okay. Then about the requirement. So requirement, you process a degree, psychology. So first of all, it's psychology qualification, a degree in psychology, or a postgraduate conversion degree in psychology. So if you want to become the registered counseling psychologist in future, your degree has to be recognized by Hong Kong CHEUNG. So to check that, you may need, if you're not already a graduate member of Hong Kong CHEUNG, you may check with your Hong Kong CHEUNG for getting membership. Because if you don't get the membership, even though you got this degree, you cannot become a registered with Hong Kong CHEUNG as a counseling psychologist. And then for the master degree, there are 3 types of degree. One is counseling psychology, one is clinical psychology, and there's also counseling. So there are 3 types of qualification we would accept. And there is a GPA requirement of 3.3. So for those with obtained a Master in Counselling, should complete at least 1 year of supervised qualification experience before they apply. Okay, sounds quite a lot of information. So if you have doubt about it, you can further ask, and then for individual cases we may further discuss. But basically, one is the psychology qualification, okay, and then is the counseling or counseling psychology qualification. So you need to have both. These I won't repeat because I just make it more precise. You see those highlighted in the blue. So if you are taking 60 credits, you just take those in the black color. But if you are taking 75 credits, so you need to take some courses from the master course, so that to fulfill the requirement of the Hong Kong CHEUNG. So if you're applying with the qualification of Master of Counselling, that means you may need to take more credits, 75 credits, and so you may budget about your time. So we have students who can complete 3 years, both for 75 credits and 60 credits, but the sum would have some adjustment and then complete in four years. So you may consider about your commitment and your time. Then is the tuition fee. For the tuition fee, each is a part-time 3 years program, so it's 4,300 for each credit. So totally, if it is 60 credits, it becomes a bit over 25,000. 285,000, and if it's 70 credits, and it's 322,000. So I think it is very how to say, in term it's very much value for money from my point of view. So if you go overseas to study, say a doctorate in counseling psychology, it will be of higher tuition fee and then the accommodation. But for this one, I think is very much value for money. We have exchanged with some our colleagues in the mainland China. So even their doctorate program is a comparable rate. So I think it is very much affordable for a doctorate in counseling psychology. And one more thing, we have a scholarship and for outstanding applicants and students. So it's a studentship. So if you are awarded, you either have to do some teaching or support some research project in the university. And each studentship is 90,000 per academic year, and then it will be paid at a rate of 50,000 per month for over 3 months, for over 2-3 month semester. Okay, so this is you may apply for it, and then if even you're applying, you may indicate on your intention to apply for it. Okay. So in terms of the time, so here are the faculties. I may just go through it. So our department head, Professor Yu, and also the research coordinator, Professor Hui, who is very experienced educators. So these are the mainly the clinical supervisors and the clinical coordinators, and the research and the teaching staff. So one of them is here, Dr. Phoebus Choi. He is also the graduate program advisor. So he will talk to you later on and then address some of the questions you have. So these are the another two graduates. Already, actually, Dr. Tong and Dr. CHEUNG here is our graduates. And then they, upon graduation, they work in our university. Dr. CHEUNG, for instance, he also a program director of the pay therapy now. And Dr. Tong right now is the clinical coordinator, clinical practice coordinator. And Dr. Choi is also one of our graduates. Dr. Elman Pong, so he is practicing as a part-time teacher with us, and also do clinical practice independently. Dr. Claire Young, so she has graduated and then she applied she worked in both UK and Hong Kong. She applied in for practice in the HCPC in England, and then with our after graduate with our program and was admitted. So she's qualified to work in counseling psychology practice in both Hong Kong and UK. So this is a good news. So, okay, so about the application. Right now, so because there's quite a lot of information, if you need more about the program information, you can scan this QR code. What I have mentioned will be the content will be in the website. And also these days, the application is starting, so take note of the application dates. And the faculty profile, if you want to look at the research profile of our faculty, I don't have the time to go into detail just then. So this is the QR code. You may further go into it. And these are also the contact here. So you may take note of the contact to further contact us with the application. And I've got one more application. So from the administration. So those who attend in person here will have when they do the application fee for one program will be waived. So just for you to notice, those attend in person. So application fee for one program will be waived. So just to let you know. I think there's been quite a lot of information for you to digest, and just look at it, and then maybe as you from experience as you apply, you may have some questions. We are happy to walk through it with you, like when you check your professional qualification, and then the application procedure, you're required to turn in a lot of information. From experience, this is our first encounter, and then we can keep on. It may be quite informative, but then if we can follow through with the specific questions, and then for you to, if you're really interested to apply in this program, for me, I think it's a matter of your commitment. So whether it is really for you, because as a practitioner, you can just practice and get experience. But right now, this program is trained for more people good at practice, teaching and research at a senior level. So is that what you want? And if that is the case, how prepared you are for it? And then in terms of your time, can you make accommodation for these? These are the issues for you to further think about. And we are happy to sort out and discuss with you. Okay, so then I will pass to my colleague, Dr. Phoebus Choi, who will address to some of both, I think both online and some of the questions for audience here.
Thank you for the introduction, Dr. Cheung. May I know if anybody in the venue would like to ask or having any information would like to clarify with regard to our PsyD program? Because I'm both the graduate and the graduate program advisors of the program. I'm quite familiar with it, including the challenge and the struggles for sure. Any questions? Yes.
Thank you so much for session and pretty much clear on the website. Thank you, very convenient, can find all of that information. So I'm currently now working full-time as a school counselor, and it's my 4th year. And according to your experience, is it possible, because it's really a big desire to start the PhD journey, but is it possible to combine your full-time job, and it's especially first maybe 2 years, I can see it's quite challenging maybe by the end, especially if you want to, if you look forward for teaching experiences, also some supervision stuff, but if at least first 2 years, how it possible to combine the full-time job? Doesn't matter if you work anywhere, but in my case, it's pretty much whole day till 3:30, 4 p.m. How the part-time time is actually divided during the week, or it's weekends, because I couldn't find it when it's mostly busy. Thank you so much again.
Well, thank you for the questions. For our PsyD program, I think we got quite some flexibilities in different parts of our course. For the teaching component, especially in the first and the second year, most of our course, I think the class, the supervision time will be in the evening. So for most applicants, most of our candidates, they have no particular challenge coming to class in the evening. Our class often starts somewhere around 6:40. So if you're not working quite far away from Xi'an, the main campus, I think that would be manageable. So that is the condition in the first and the second year. Things will get a little more fuzzy and challenging when our candidates start to work in their clinical practice. Because in the clinical practice, our candidates are required to participate in on-site duty for 2 full days each of the week. So for candidates with a full-time commitment, they often conduct their practice during the weekend, say on a Saturday or on Sundays, combined with 2 evenings. So you can split things up, but by splitting things up and simultaneously managing the work duty, I think things will be quite intense if you want to balance both the work component and the practice component. But for those who are more committed, they can take more leave or having a little more space in their full-time employment or full-time commitment. They might be using their annual leave or able to arrange their work duty in their daytime job more flexibly. They will learn and practice a lot more in a more spacious manner. So depending on your existing work commitment, whether it could be accommodate to your learning needs. And if our candidate is in a more tight work schedule, we'll recommend a longer study period, because we got a standard study period of 3 years. However, it is quite common for our candidate to also consider a 4-year plan to space things a little further a bit to keep the workload manageable. Along with that, we will also start our teaching practicum. We got the TTM, the teaching practice training, starting from the second year of the PsyD program. So the second year will start to be a little more busy, and it will be a little more busier when the practicum component is sought. So it really depends on each of our candidates' existing work schedule, the intensity of their work, and the level of demand of their work. So the best place, I think, to start with at the beginning of the application would be to evaluate your current availabilities, along with that, your career plans. Because after the completion of the PsyD program, you'll be legitimately be the leaders in the profession. So there are a great lot of opportunity you can consider. You can be functioning as academic faculty, you can be functioning as supervisors in consultancy, in counseling centers, or if you are already having some commitment in counseling and psychotherapy, you might be, well, function in a different manner, different way, different style upon the completion of the PsyD program. The program will equip you with the knowledge, skills, the exposure to function in the best way as the leader in counseling in Hong Kong. So that's pretty much. Yep. Any other questions from the audience? Yes?
Hi, Dr. Raysen and Dr. Phoebus, thank you very much. My name is Stephanie. I was wondering about the clinical practice sites. Are they assigned to us or do we have a choice? And then on top of that, I know that, so right now I'm a counselor working at St. John's Cathedral Counseling Center, which Dr. Adrian Tong and Edmund Pong also work at.
You're familiar with our program.
And Dr. Dorothy Fung is also a recent graduate. So I know that this is a training site for this program. Would it be possible for me to continue my employment at St. John's and use it as one of my clinical practice sites, or is that not recommended?
For site, I think to uphold the highest level of professionalism, we try to avoid dual relationship and dual role in between the study and your full-time employment. So
makes sense.
It is not recommended, and well, we don't have the previous practice to have our candidate working as an intern in the full-time employment site. With relate to your questions about is a site is being assigned, or you can have some says about the site. In our current practice, our candidate will be invited to share your facts about what kinds of agency that you would like to work with, and we'll try to examine and evaluate to what extent the site is being appropriate to our PsyD program. Because as a PsyD program, we are not hoping our candidate to work with a narrow settings, but to have high level of diversity. So with relate to that specific requirement, we need to evaluate the site very carefully. And if you got like personal connection, or you are familiar with some site who are, well, having an existing or close relationship with you, and you will consider working in that site, you may feel free to propose that to our placement coordinator, and our program team will try to evaluate whether that site is being appropriate or not. But if you are not saying having any specific preference, the program will assign a specific site for you to fulfill the duty in both the supervision and the clinical practice component. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Stephanie. Any other questions? Feel free to ask. Let me check on the chat. All right. So we got a questions relate to an online audience. I'll read it aloud. If I obtain a master's degree in psychology from university not in Hong Kong, and having taken counseling-related courses without supervised counseling hours accumulate, can I apply for this program? Oh, that's a tricky question. Let me think. Our PsyD program will aim to train up counselors and clinicians with some experience. If our candidate is not having existing or previous clinical experience, I think it will be very challenging for them to learn effectively from the program because we are training leaders. So a leader will be, I think, logically be expected to have some experience, some exposure in counseling and therapy so that they are able to be further trained more than little to be, well, an expert in the area. So I think we'll be preferring individuals and candidates with prior exposure, experience, no matter that there's a lot of exposure or not very much of exposure in the program. But that's a good question to ask because as we are training leaders, we hope our leaders to be, well, competent somehow and to be even more competent in a better way after our program. So we prefer individuals and applicants with prior clinical exposure. So thank you for the questions from chat. Any further questions from chat or from the audience in the venue? Yes, Stephanie. Sure.
You were just talking about clinical background.
Yes.
You know, one of the reasons that I'm drawn to this program is to not only deepen my clinical practice but get more research background.
Yes.
But my research background is not as thorough as my clinical background. So I was wondering, in the application, I know that we have to have a thesis proposal, a research proposal. I was wondering, what are you looking for in that? How detailed should it be? Just do you have more information on that?
With relate to thesis applications, I think, let me share my experience back in the days. As far as I am applying, during the interview, I'll be asked to share my research ideas, my tentative, well, that's a tentative aspiration in the research. If you are being interested in a particular topic, I think you can come up with a specific research goal, a research purpose, and a tentative methodology so that when you are asked about the research aspiration, the basic research design, you are able to articulate that in a comprehensive way as much as possible. But well, as that is the initial stage, we don't expect the proposal to be so thought through or excessively comprehensive or extensive, because we'll be training our candidate to familiar with the key research skills, the advanced skills in doing counseling-related research. So as long as you are having a concrete ideas and able to articulate the ideas in a systematic manner, I think that would suffice. I think Dr. Cheung will also share more about the expectation about research in a little.
Thank you.
All right, maybe I'll add a bit. So first of all is in the time. So there are successful cases that students have a very busy full-time job, but if you have flexibility, you can use the weekend. All the classes are scheduled in the evening. So you can, if you look at your time pattern, you have some flexibility, and then you can decide at what year you will focus on more, because when you do your clinical practice, then demand more time. So if you have some flexibility to allocate your time, then that will help. And Dr. Phoebus Choi, his role is the advisor. He will also help you to draw your study plan, so that sometimes with some flexibility, you can space out your workload, and then maybe you can work more. If you have summer vacation, you can work more in summer semester. So there are ways to juggle like this. For sites, currently we don't prefer to work in your own sites, but you are free to suggest. You're free to suggest, and then we will visit the site if we think that the site is appropriate. Sometimes we will adopt the site and then allow the student to take that site. For research, I think you don't have to be worried. We have very statistic-friendly teachers. So those I know some practitioners are quite may not like numerical analysis especially. But we are quite experienced to train practitioners to do research. And then finally, you can focus to do quantitative or qualitative. So with that, initially, we may ask you in the interview about your research interests and about your research skills. So it's better to have a direction. But if you're very keen, then I think you can brush up your research skill. And also, as we required a background in psychology, so we presume that with your psychology background, then you have enough basic training in research. So, so my advice is to we want to recruit appropriate person. We don't aim a big class. We aim at people who really are committed to this, and then who are flexible, committed, and we move persistently. So in that case, we would like to work with you. So as I mentioned, it is just the first encounter. So feel free to reach out for us to further discuss about the specific case.
If you got further questions even after the seminars, you may feel free to send an email to me or to Dr. Raysen, and we can always discuss about how to be better prepare you for the application. And if you got any further questions or confusion or curiosity about the program, and I hope to see your future application shortly. Right?
Thanks for coming on Saturday.
Yes. Thank you.